Hey folks, it's Dylan here from Eat Wild. We're out here on a spring boat access hunt, and we brought with us the 12-person teepee tent from Seek Outside. And I want to just show you some of the differences that you might see going from, say, a Cimarron, which is a 6-person tent, to the 8-person teepee tent up to the 12. So come take a look. So the benefit of hanging out in a teepee tent is they're relatively lightweight packages, and they include a stove. So on trips like this where you get rained on for a couple days straight, you can get dry, you can warm up. We spent one of our evenings being able to cook inside the tent and dry out, which was a godsend after a tough day being wetted out in the rain. Now if you come on inside, you'll just show you just how much room we have to work with. So this is a 3-person hunt. We brought some camera gear with us as well, so we need a fair bit of space to spread out and to dry out. Now on this tent, what I really noticed is there's a ton of room for bunks. We've got 3 bunks in here. We could easily have a 4th bunk. But the big difference for me with this tent is there's room for a big stove, and we can also sit around the stove and have our bunks and still have a fair bit of walkway to walk around. That's the biggest difference from, say, going from the 8-man up to this tent, because the 8-man, you're still a little bit compressed, especially if you've got 3 or more people in the tent. You're kind of getting closer and closer to that stove, so you end up having a little less safe passage around the stove. So I love that. The other thing about this tent is you've got a lot of drying space. We ended up putting a bunch of stuff up, hanging a line up here, and we were able to dry out all of our kit over a couple hours of hanging out. So for me, this tent does a couple things really well. It's going to give me, adequate space for a 4-person hunt in late season. Great for 3 people too, luxurious. I say it's about 20% bigger, like the full package, whether it's the stove and the tent and the rigging, over the 8-person tent. So I think for the amount of volume that I get and the amount of space that I get around the stove, I think it's worth going to the 12-person tent. So for future hunts where I'm doing my, either whether it's boat access or truck access hunting, I'd probably grab this tent. If I'm going to backpack into an area with 2 people, it'll be the Cimarron. And if I'm going to go with a larger group backpacking or rafting, would probably take the 8-person tent. Anyways, this is a great tent. Really excited to have it in our kit.